Welcome, everyone. This is Recovery Dharma. My name is Julia. I'm one of the facilitators in the Spokane Sangha. And I'm going to take a moment to close my eyes and drop into my body for a moment as I get ready to just share with you today's practice. We're continuing with the theme of the mother, the archetypal mother, the culturally defined mother, the social constructs defining women, female, concepts of the sacred feminine. And one of the reasons why we're bringing this forward, why I am bringing this forward, is because it is not talked about enough. It is not well understood. In fact, if you notice that whenever we bring forward, or if you're in circles of these types of conversations and the sacred feminine is brought forward, it's very quickly followed by, well, we all know that the divine being is genderless. And that's true, and not the whole truth. The truth is that there are qualities unique to being embodied female and unique to being embodied male, and each individual is charged to define them for themselves. The point of bringing it forward is to recognize that we're all suffering because there is a lack of understanding around what it means to engage and embody the sacred feminine as something that makes us whole. Today, right after yoga, we had a brilliant example of what I'm talking about. Our yoga instructor, Stephanie, was mentioning that she had just herself, by herself, put in an irrigation system in her yard. And for any of you out there who work with irrigation, there's lots of little pieces, lots of little fittings, 90-degree elbows, threaded this, non-threaded that, caps, goof plugs. There's a thing called a goof plug because you're inevitably going to pop a hole in the wrong place. So many pieces. Threaded male pieces that thread nicely into female pieces that are usually a little bit larger with a wider opening. Male, female, we see it in electronics. You have a male plug entering into the female hole. It's a part of life. We know that when it's in balance, things work. So Stephanie was talking about how she got this set and she realized of different attachments, and she realized that it was mostly male threaded pieces and no female connectors. And she called local hardware stores all over, and there is a shortage of female connectors. The moral of the story, friends, is that without the female connectors, the male threaded pieces do not work. It is the combination of the two, them coming into wholeness, that makes the whole system work. And we are no different. But we have been denied that information. We have been denied the expression of the archetypal mother, the qualities within each of us that are governed by nurturance, feeding, communal caretaking, patience, fierce protection, ingenuity, creativity, touch, sensuality, beauty. These are not exclusive to the sacred feminine, but they're predominant there. And we think about them and we talk about them and we see how they come alive in each of us. So that's what we've been talking about for the last month. And we're going to bring forward another little aspect today. Before we do, our intention for the practice is, may you experience compassion and share it. May you experience compassion and share it. One of the first teachings of the Buddha, obviously the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. That is the awakening to the causes and conditions of misery within oneself, and the way to come out of misery, the way to hold oneself accountable to it, the way to understand it, the way to heal it, transform it, and experience it less. Right after the Buddha brought that forward, he presented a sutra. Its shortened word is sati, and it means mindfulness. And this is the four foundations of mindfulness that he brought forward. And his focus was on the mind. What we think often creates our reality. And so if we can create a little bit of space from our thoughts, create a little openness around our thoughts, cultivate some curiosity. Ooh, what's here? Would you look at that? Those are some of my ways of cultivating curiosity around my very, at times, rigid mind. We can drop into the body, one of the foundations of mindfulness, our feelings and emotions, the second foundation of mindfulness, the thoughts themselves, and then something that I like to call stories. In the tradition, it's all about object formation. Certain events, certain concrete things in our lives. For me, it often always manifests as how my stories come together. Those are the four foundations of mindfulness. And when we pay attention to any one of them, and apply the Noble Eightfold Path, our suffering, our misery, our disappointment begins to ease. It begins to experience a mother's touch, something soft and embracing, something gentle and tender. We begin to feel within us maybe a unique quickening in the body. And maybe this quickening sensation is a little chill down the spine, goosebumps along the arms, some new awareness alive within you. Like a pregnant woman who suddenly feels her baby alive in her. Quickening is an unfathomable, in some ways, sensation. It's simply a knowing. Something happens. The attention is drawn to one's womb, and you know, oh yeah, there's life there. Awareness is the same. And maybe we gestate that awareness for a while before we give it birth and bring it to the world and share it. And each of us has the capacity to do that. Your compassion, your capacity to empathize, sympathize, and even pity someone that enables you to act on it with generosity and wisdom. Where does this live in your body? What are the emotions that this expression of compassion activates within you, quickens within you? What are your thoughts and stories about compassion? Compassionate people. The ways you're compassionate, the ways you're not. Can you observe this without judgment? Judgment meaning the oversimplification of this way is good, this way is bad. And instead, put it into the spaciousness and the openness of unconditionality and objectivity. This simply is here. I have the capacity to not be very compassionate at times. Would you look at that? What are the conditions of that? What's the story there? How do I feel about that? I also have the capacity to be enormously compassionate. What does that feel like? What do I think about it? Is my compassion easier extended to others than toward myself? Curious. When I'm extending compassion to others, does that offer me perhaps a threshold, an access point for me to then offer compassion to myself? Ooh, that would be a beautiful mirror to explore. Sati, mindfulness, present time awareness. It encapsulates, it shelters the misery we experience as human beings and the freedom, the liberation as well. Let's take a moment together in silence to sense the body sheltered in sati, to know that Emotionally, this is a safe place full of loving kindness, compassion, joy, equanimity. Let us allow the space of this practice for our thoughts to rise and fall, for our stories to quicken, come into consciousness, and then be put to rest. Allow the spirit of this practice to be sheltered like a warm blanket, tucked in by a loving mother. Perhaps your own mother, her memory, or her present day reality, or perhaps the mother in you who is called forward to reparent yourself anew. Enjoy your practice. Friends, as we take a step toward the conclusion of our practice today, I'd like to share with you a breathing mantra meditation by Thich Nhat Hanh. This is a meditation that I learned a long time ago, probably 30 years ago now, and I recite it regularly. And it's worth bringing forward when we're doing well, we're in a safe place, it feels good, and to get solid in this practice and in this mantra. Because when you're stressed or you're in crisis or you're anxious or you're worried or you're in some kind of urgent situation, it's difficult to recall these tools. This is why we practice when things have degrees of ease. We always are practicing. It keeps us solid, steady, especially for the times where we are most challenged. It goes like this. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, this is a wonderful moment. One more time. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, this is a wonderful moment. Let's have a dedication of merit. And I invite you to return your beautiful bodies to a noble posture. Noble posture is a soft belly, strong back, straight spine. Gaze inward, eyes open or closed. Just make sure your gaze is turned back inward toward yourself. There is a story in our collective consciousness that to be focused on ourselves, as Luma was pointing out so beautifully, that sacred masculine, the individualism, is a bad thing. And it can be, without the complement of the sacred feminine, which is all about connection and community. I love that, Luma. Thank you for bringing that forward. So we come into community to connect with one another as a way of anchoring for that self-exploration, that inward gaze, to know ourselves, to know the conditions that we have created that cause us so much misery, to know our reactions, to know our habit energy, the habits of mind. What are the thoughts we keep repeating over and over? What are the stories we keep telling ourselves over and over? Can we identify them, voice them, ventilate them, heal them in community? The answer is an astounding yes. And please do this work. Why? Because when you heal and you transform yourself even a little bit, even by 1 degree, you put that healing and transformation into the world for those who haven't yet found this place or this practice. And it manifests in the way you stand in line in a store, the way you drive along in the highway, the way you interact with challenging people. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I am a vehicle of peace for all. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in this present moment, I am a vehicle of peace. Thank you for your practice, friends. I hope to see you tomorrow. Namaste. Beautiful, beautiful people. Bless you all. Have a wonderful day.